in the hollowed marrow of the mountain, where the silence breathes in rhythmic tides of stone, there dwells a sentinel of the invisible, a weaver of the quietude that binds the fractured soul to the absolute. It is not a shield of hammered bronze or burnished iron that we seek today, nor the vanity of shields that rust in the salt of human tears, but a bulwark forged in the furnace of a 3-year solitude. Beneath the limestone ribs of Subiaco, the world's clamor was distilled into a singular drop of devotion, a liquid clarity that quenched the fire of the flesh and hardened into the diamond geometry of the rule. You, the father of the West, did not flee the world to abandon it, but to learn the architecture of its true defense, standing as a pillar where the currents of chaos break and dissolve into the order of the divine. The chalice of envy fractured at the sign of your hand, a crystalline explosion that echoed through the cloisters of the spirit, proving that the venom of man is powerless against the breath of the word. It is this broken glass we tread upon now, walking toward the mountain of Casino, with feet shod in the readiness of peace, guided by the raven that carries away the poison bread of our own bitterness. The air around your name smells of damp earth and ancient parchment, of cedar wood and the cold, sharp scent of an alpine dawn, where the frost clings to the monk's cowl like a mantle of silver humility. We are the laborers in the vineyard of the unseen, swinging the scythe of prayer against the overgrowth of the ego, planting the seeds of aura in the furrows of Labara, until the harvest of the soul is ripe for the granaries of eternity. Crux sacrosit mihi lux, the vows of protection carved into the very air we inhale, a geometric fortress where the dragon finds no purchase, and the serpent's hiss is silenced by the humming of the psalms. This is the shield that does not weigh upon the arm, but lifts the heart toward the uncreated brilliance, a transparency that reflects the malice of the abyss back into the void. It is a shield of listening, an ear inclined to the Master's voice, until the interior silence becomes a cathedral where the lamp of the Spirit never flickers. No arrow of the midday devil can pierce the weave of a life lived in the enclosure of the holy will, for the boundaries of the monastery are the frontiers of a kingdom that knows no geography but the geography of grace. The iron pendulum of the monastic clock strikes the hour of our awakening, calling us from the slumber of the senses to the vigil of the vigilant, where the liturgy is the heartbeat of a world that has forgotten how to pulse in time with the Creator. We trace the cross upon our lips, sealing the gateway of speech, so that only the gold of the gospel may pass through, refining our words until they are as heavy and as precious as the stones you laid to build the houses of God upon the ruins of the idols, in the sweat of the brow and the bowing of the knee. The shield is tempered in the patience of the brother and the silence of the cell. The Spirit is armed with the resilience that outlasts comes under the banner of the Benedictine peace. Let the pacts that you carved into the granite of Europe be the seal upon our foreheads, a mark of belonging that the world cannot recognize and the darkness cannot extinguish. Through the storms of the century and the gales of the mind, your rule remains the anchor, the compass and the wall, a legacy of equilibrium in a world of extremes. We sing the song of the shield, not as a plea for escape, but as a vow of endurance, standing firm in the cloisters of the heart, protected by the wisdom of the patriarch who taught us that to work is to pray, and to pray is to become a fortress of the living light. The amber descent of a Sunday 7 o'clock spills across the waxen floors of the nave, like honeyed oil from a broken jar of alabaster. Here the daylight surrenders its final breath to the creeping violet of the vesper hour, a liturgical twilight, where the architecture of grief meets the geometry of hope. The grand piano stands as a dark leviathan in the transept, its lid propped open like a wing, prepared for a flight that never leaves the earth but vibrates deep within its iron marrow. Each ivory key is a white tombstone waiting for the touch of a finger to resurrect a memory, a monochromatic between the silence of the cemetery and the resonance of the sanctuary. We gather not to bury the light, but to harvest the shadows left behind by those who have stepped through the thin veil of the tabernacle into the uncreated noon of the Creator. The first movement of our solace is a whisper of felt against string, a soft percussion that mimics the heartbeat of a mother now stilled beneath the parish sod. It is a Christian cartography of the soul, mapping the distance between the last rattling breath and the first alleluia of the kingdom. The choir inhales the scent of extinguished beeswax and damp stone, their throats forming a collective chalice to hold the vintage of our sorrow. They sing not of the end, but of the transition, a melodic theology where the minor key of the funeral mass dissolves into the major resolution of the resurrection. Each voice is a thread of silver pulled through the needle of the present moment, stitching the names of the departed into the tapestry of the communion of saints. 8 times the melody shifts its weight from the shoulder of mourning to the hip of grace. 8 stations of a musical cross, where we find the strength to remain standing when the earth has claimed its portion. The second song arrives with the gravity of Gregorian stone, yet lightened by the piano's cascading arpeggios that fall like rain upon a parched garden. It is the Catholic heart beating in time with the Latin rhythms of the Requiem Aeternam, a plea for perpetual light that ignores the clock on the vestry wall. 7 o'clock is merely a threshold, a chronological gate where the secular week expires and the eternal Sabbath begins its reign. In the low register of the bass singers, we navigate the third and fourth echoes with the precision of a rosary being told in the dark. Each note a bead, each pause a prayer for the repose of those who taught us how to sign the cross. The piano does not merely play, it interrogates the silence, asking why the lilies must wither while the stone remains. The choir answers in a polyphonic wave, a sea of human breath that washes over the pews, carrying the scent of incense and the salt of tears. There is no haste in this Sunday evening, only the deliberate unfolding of a grief that has been sanctified by the promise of the empty tomb. We see the faces of the gone in the flickering votives, their features traced in the vibrations of the cello-like hum of the baritones. By the fifth and sixth hymns, the solace has become a tangible garment, a shroud woven of harmony that warms the shivering spirit. The piano's high treble begins to mimic the bells of a distant cathedral, calling the lost home through the fog of their own bereavement. This is the memorial of the mundane made magnificent, the sanctification of ordinary lives that were lived in the quiet corners of the pews. We sing for the bakers and the teachers, the silent fathers and the praying grandmothers, their legacies now vibrate in the vocal cords of their children. The music is a ladder of Jacob, reaching from the dust of the funeral parlor to the gold of the celestial city, and we climb it with every soaring soprano line. The seventh song is a stillness that speaks louder than the fortissimo of the world, a piano Sunday meditation where the hammers barely kiss the wire. It is the sound of a soul settling into the arms of the Good Shepherd, a Catholic lullaby for those who have finished the race and kept the faith. The choir's volume tapers to a holy murmur, the sound of wind through the cypress trees of a Mediterranean graveyard here. The sorrow is no longer a jagged flint, but a polished river stone, smooth to the touch and heavy with the weight of a life well loved. We are the stewards of this resonance, the keepers of the flame that refuses to be quenched by the coming night. The eighth and final resolution is a monumental architecture of sound, a cathedral of voices built upon the firm foundation of the piano's deep pedal tones. It is 7:30 now, and the darkness outside is absolute. Yet within these walls, the music has ignited a fire that the night cannot comprehend. The choir expands to the limits of the vaulted ceiling, an explosion of Christian certainty that mocks the finality of the grave. We stand in the debris of our own mortality and sing a defiance of the shroud.
The shadows of the late Sabbath stretch across the nave as the final Sunday sun dips below the city's jagged horizon, casting long amber ribbons through the stained glass that fall upon the worn mahogany of the pews. It is 7 o'clock, that hallowed hour of transition, where the frantic pulse of the weekend surrenders to the quiet spection of the night. And here, in the dimming sanctuary, the piano begins its rhythmic heartbeat. The hammers strike the wire with a gentle insistency
weaving a tapestry of rolling arpeggios that mirror the movement of wheat swaying. In a Galilean breeze, a fluid motion that invites the weary to lay down their burdens at the foot of the altar. There is a specific resonance to this evening air, a scent of melted beeswax, and the lingering incense of the morning's high liturgy, now softened by the intimacy of this smaller, fervent gathering. The choir breathes as a single lung, their voices rising from the back of the throat with a warmth that only comes from a day spent in reflection. A harmony that does not seek to dominate, but to envelop the listener in a communal embrace. Step forward into the light of the candles, for the board is spread with a bounty that no silver coin could ever purchase. A harvest of the spirit that transcends the meager calories of the earth. Here is the paradox of the banquet, where the beggar is the guest of honor, and the broken-hearted are given the seat of highest prestige, sitting side by side with the seekers and the saints. The lyrics flow like a river of living water, carved from the ancient promises of prophets who saw this day from afar. A testament to a God who provides not out of obligation, but out of an overflowing, reckless love. It is the feast of the humble, where the simple elements of grain and vine are transformed into the luminescent marrow of the divine. A mystery that the piano explores with every sustained pedal and every shifting chord. The music does not merely accompany the words. It acts as the very architecture of the prayer, building a between the temporal world of Sunday evening anxieties and the timeless presence of the eternal now. In the gathering of the Sunday 7 p.m. choir, there is an unvarnished honesty, a vocal texture that feels like weathered wood, sturdy, reliable, and deeply rooted in the soil of shared experience. They sing of the mountains that will be leveled and the valleys that will be raised, their voices climbing the melodic ladder of Dan Schutt's vision, a ladder that leans against the very gates of the celestial city. This is the table of plenty, where the hunger for justice meets the bread of life, where the thirst for mercy is quenched by the wine of a new and everlasting covenant. Each syllable is a seed planted in the fertile silence of the congregation, a reminder that the abundance offered here is not a scarcity to be hoarded, but a treasure to be distributed until every hollow space in the human soul is filled to the brim. The piano's lower register provides a grounding foundation, a solid earth beneath the ethereal flight of the sopranos, anchoring the spiritual ecstasy and the reality of the incarnation. As the communion procession begins, the rhythm of footsteps on the stone floor becomes a percussion of pilgrimage, a steady march toward the source of all sustenance. The choir's voices thicken with the emotion of the moment, the lyrics speaking of a God who invites the blind to see and the lame to walk, a hospitality that knows no borders and recognizes no strangers. The music swells with a cinematic grandeur that feels both epic and intensely personal, a symphonic swell that captures the magnitude of the sacrifice and the sweetness of the meal. The bread is broken, a sound that echoes the breaking of the heart before it can be healed, and the wine is poured, a crimson stream of grace that space. The 7 p.m. hour is not the end of the day, but the beginning of a transformation, a refueling of the spirit for the labors of the week to come. Listen to the way the piano lingers on the final chords, a shimmering resonance that refuses to fade, much like the memory of the feast that remains on the tongue long after the doors are locked. The choir's final notes are a soft benediction, a lingering amen that carries the weight of 1,000 prayers uttered in the quiet of the heart. The lyrics have done their work, carving out a space within the listener where the plenty of God can dwell, a sanctuary of abundance in a world that so often speaks of lack. As the lights go down and the piano lid is closed, the echoes of the hymn remain, a haunting and holy melody that follows the faithful out into the cool night air, under the watch of the stars, carrying the banquet within them. This is the communion of the evening, the gathering of the fragments, the realization that at the table of the Lord there's always more than enough, a surplus of grace. The bells have ceased their bronze complaint, and now the sanctuary holds the amber weight of 7 o'clock. We stand as a small assembly of the twilight, our breath catching on the syllables of ancient promise as the day folds its weary wings. The air is thick with the scent of melted wax and the cool breath of stone, a Catholic silence that prepares the way for the shepherd's entry. He does not come as a tyrant of the storm, but as the quiet governance of the soul, a king whose scepter is a staff of gnarled olive wood. In this hour, the frantic pulse of the world slows to the rhythm of the cantor's lead, and we recognize that to be ruled by him is to finally be free from the anarchy of our own desires. His sovereignty is the gravity that keeps our wandering hearts from drifting into the void, a divine magnetism that pulls the stray back to the warmth of the communal fold. The green is the color of his mercy, yet tonight it manifests as the deep emerald of a forest at rest, hidden from the scorching glare of the noonday sun. He leads us not to the shallow, muddy ponds of earthly distraction, but to the silver still waters of a grace that reflects the stars. There is no haste in his command, only the steady, patient pace of one who has walked the Via Dolorosa and knows the exact weight of a human spirit. We are the sheep of his pasture, bruised by the week's long labor and the sharp briars of our own making, seeking the grass that grows where the light of the tabernacle falls. He unbinds the heavy yoke of our ambitions and points toward the meadow of the Spirit, where the only requirement is to be still and know the providence of the one who names us. Even as the shadows lengthen across the nave, stretching like long dark fingers toward the high altar. We do not falter at the onset of the night. The valley of the shadow is no longer a place of terror, but a between the day's fatigue and the eternal dawn. His rod is the strength of the cross, a vertical truth in a horizontal world. His staff is the whisper of the Spirit in the ear of the frightened, a gentle hook that pulls us back from the precipice of despair. When the world screams its chaos and the wolves of anxiety howl at the doors of our minds, His voice remains the velvet gravity that keeps us grounded. I shall not want for vanity or the hollow gold of the city, for the shepherd provides the bread of life that suffices for the journey through the deepest gloom. A table is spread before us in the sight of every ghost that haunts our history, a liturgical feast prepared by the hands that were pierced for our sake. He pours the oil of gladness upon our weary brows, a chrism of restoration that heals the cracks of doubt and the scars of our secret wars. The cup is not merely full, it is a fountain, a spill of crimson grace that stains the common cloth of our mundane lives with the purple of a celestial royalty. We sit as guests of the High King, transformed from beggars into heirs, eating the silence that nourishes more than any earthly banquet. The enemies of our peace, shame, regret, and the fear of the end, stand back in the shadows, blinded by the radiance of this holy hospitality and the unbreakable rule of the Shepherd King. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us, not as passive observers, but as persistent hunters of our hearts, chasing us through the gray streets of Monday and the trials of the midweek sun. They are the twin hounds of heaven, relentless in their pursuit until we return to the house where the incense never fades. At 7 o'clock on the side of Sunday, the cycle of the week finds its holy resolution, and we find ourselves tucked within the thick wool of the shepherd's cloak. We shall dwell in the house of the Lord, not as transient visitors or strangers at the gate, but as the very stones of the temple, forever held in the loving gaze of the one who rules our life with a devotion that will never let us go. The choir's final note ascends into the rafters, leaving us anchored in the peace of a kingdom that has no end. The hollowed stone of Cana stands in silent rows of 6, waiting for the weight of the deluge that sanctifies the ordinary, while the desert stars of Galilee retreat before the violet brush of a dawn that tastes of salt and promise. We have watched through the long vigil of the centuries, our hands calloused by the dry ropes of empty cisterns, leaning our ears against the parched earth to hear the subterranean pulse of a grace we could not yet name.